welcome. We are live. Very sorry for being late. In my defense, I am still sick. But that's okay. I got some Advil. I got some coffee. I got my water, which is what I should be drinking. And I had to spend a few minutes checking something out. I got a phone call last minute. So here I am now, though. Made it live, just a couple minutes late. I hope everybody's doing well. Please take a moment. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. Let's give it a bit of time and let's see who joins. These Friday streams, I normally don't have any specific talking points or any specific discussion points. We just hang out and answer questions. I have been following the NASA Artemis II mission, partially because I'm a member of Tranquility Lodge 2000 and partially because Freemasons should love and appreciate geometry and exploration. All right, so let's give it a bit of time and let's wait to see who joins. Please take a moment, hit that like button and subscribe button. Hope you guys can all hear me. Let me know if the audio is good. I do want to explore and kind of study or talk about the Artemis II space mission's progress. My thinking is I'm going to actually eventually switch over to my laptop, go live again, and that way I can share the screen and show it. We can watch it together because it's really cool. The Artemis mission, in case anybody's curious, as of right now, according to nasa.gov/missions/Artemis-II-arrow, the Artemis II is traveling at 3,872 miles per hour. They are approximately 100,807 miles from Earth, 161,128 miles to go to get to the moon. 1 day, 18 hours, 38 minutes into their mission, which is pretty cool. Again, I don't know how long I'll be doing this stream because I'm still feeling sick. Darn these springtime colds, but hey, they happen. What are your thoughts on Trump doing such a great job? I'm not sure if I would describe it as a great job at the moment, but I guess everybody decides for themselves. Again, my concern is, amongst other things, the high price of gas, high price of oil, which makes it more expensive for people to be able to attend their lodges, to travel to and from their lodges, to travel to and from Masonic meetings, Masonic events, to pay for dues. Is there anything Trump has done or doing that you like so far? Well, I mean, I guess the Artemis II mission, right? That would be the most obvious answer. Through his NASA director, which I believe Trump appointed. The fact that we may, within his presidency, return to the moon, I think is a really good thing. And so that would be the top one. I believe he passed a piece of legislation last year, if I recall correctly, that required hospitals, when they're billing patients, to actually itemize the bill. So you don't just get a bill for like $5,000 or whatever it is. You actually, the bill has to have a list of what each item costs, or the total amount of like how they came to that number, why it's 5,000, and so you'll see like Band-Aids on there for $200 or something. So you get a better idea of how much it actually costs you to go to the hospital and what the charges are. So those would be the two things that he did that I like. There's not a lot, but those two are up there. The next one. So that's this tattoo here. So, I mean, I don't think that, I don't think those two things make up for my significant and serious concerns about his presidency, but even the worst president is going to do some things well. Even the best president is going to do some things badly, I suppose. Our job, I think, in a lot of ways, is to kind of just make it through the next, well, I guess 3 years at this point. Yeah, well, I'm sick. What can I say? I got a cold, so this sleeve is going to become my Kleenex. I'm not saying it's a good thing. I'm not a doctor, but I'm just saying it's going to happen. Luckily, my mom is not around anymore to see me wiping my nose on my sleeve. She's get mad at me for that all the time. I mean, she's still up in heaven, I suppose. So now she's looking down on me and is pissed off that I'm using my sleeve as a tissue. But hey, she'll get over it. She has better things to worry about at this point than whether I'm using my sleeve or tissue for my nose. Well, Chip Broadhead, why don't you give me a super chat and then I'll be able to afford tissues. Not my birthday, Beyond Ether, but thank you for being here. Oh, are you talking about Ben Rover? Well, he is, I believe, a troll. So all I need is a 99-cent super chat and then I can go buy some tissue. I mean, it's a common cold, right? So we get them. There's nothing we can do about it. We try our best, but part of being alive means, unfortunately, you're going to get sick. All you can do is try to be as healthy as you can and as, try to make the best decision you can about your health. But sooner or later, we all deal with colds, flus, whatever else it might be. Well, then I guess I'll never be able to afford tissues. So be it. Again, the first 60 minutes, I don't have any specific topics. Usually on Fridays, I don't have any specific topics. I just hang out, chat about whatever. However, there are a couple things I wanted to mention. So, particularly talk more about the Artemis 2 space mission. Well, I still can't afford tissues, and I don't get welfare payments, but I still can't afford tissues if you don't help a brother out with some super chats. We're just going to keep hanging out, wait to see who joins. I hope everybody is also, by the way, having an excellent or a solemn Good Friday. If you're Christian and you're observing it, again, I wish you an excellent, solemn, well-observed Good Friday, as well as a solemn or happy Easter Sunday. I'm going to be... I don't think I'm going to be streaming on Saturday or Sunday, but I will stream on Monday. Because it's a holiday for a lot of people, I might be streaming for the full day that day, or at least longer. Maybe we'll talk about Freemasonry and Easter. There's some interesting connections there. Hello from Scotland again. Hello, Neil. How's it going? Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Yes, it is Good Friday. I'm having an excellent Friday, other than it's really windy here in Northern California. I would love to get back to California. California is a beautiful place. I've been to Los Angeles and San Francisco. I thought they were both beautiful. So, really cool cities, really cool people. What part of California are you from? You say northern. Is that north of San Francisco? Because that's as far north as I've ever been. A lot of people don't realize that actually the northernmost part of California is parallel to where I live in Windsor, the southernmost part of Canada. I do have a cold, Neil. I do have a cold. It's annoying. It's a pain in the butt. But that's okay. A little bit of cold. We all have to go through these things as much as we try to avoid them. It's just part of being alive, I suppose. Though, believe me, I wish you didn't have it. I'll probably be stopping the stream early today to get some more rest and to give you guys a chance to enjoy your Good Friday. A little bit of cold is not the worst thing in the world, though. Even even being a Freemason doesn't give you the cure for the common cold, despite what conspiracy theorists may say. I mean, I think most people would agree, even if you're not Christian, Jesus did a lot of things for a lot of people. Yes, I mean, it depends how serious the cold is, and also how much of a baby you are. I feel like this is more of a lot of a pain than bit of a pain, but nonetheless. The other problem is I live alone, right? So I feel like if you have people around you, what that means is you can kind of be more of a baby about things because you have people to take care of you. When it's just you and my cat's not taking care of me. I take care of my cat. You don't get to whine about it as much. One day, 18 minutes, 18 hours, 49 minutes into this mission. They are traveling at 3,852 miles per hour. They are over 100,000 miles from Earth. If you've ever felt like you're a bit lost out there and far from home, just imagine being over 100,000 miles away from your home, how that would feel. Well, I mean, we can go back and forth on that. I would, but to sneeze, maybe. Phew. Phew. I would suspect that there was at least, I mean, this is getting into theological questions, which I'm definitely not the best person to answer. I would suspect that Jesus was a real person. Phew, another sneeze. Whether you believe that he was the Son of God and died for the sins and all of the religious understandings of it, some do, some don't. That depends. If I had, yeah, but I think the Humane Society might be annoyed with me pulling along or getting a dog to pull along my chair. They might not like that. Oof. It's always annoying when I feel this way because my eye always ends up getting like super red and super like my whole sinuses, so I end up looking like I'm crying. Anybody jumping on this stream, I promise you I'm not crying, I just have a cold. And when I get a cold, I look like this, and it's a pain in the butt. to the moon, actually, technically, not to be that guy, 160,570 miles to go. But if you go to nasa.gov/missions/Artemis-22-arrow, AROW, you can actually see the kind of, you can check out the camera and see in real time the ship's progress. You can move it around. It's really cool. You can see different angles of the ship. You can see where the moon is in relation to them. You can also, I think, yeah, you can see where Earth is in relation to them as well, I believe. Yeah, there's Earth there. Imagine looking out and seeing Earth for the first time, like in how many years from that distance. That'd be pretty cool. I'm also going to be requesting some interviews with the NASA scientists and see what I can do. Again, Neil, that depends on your religious beliefs, right? The beautiful thing about Freemasonry is we have people of all different faiths, backgrounds, and beliefs all working together, which is something I really love about it. Well, I haven't, because I'm happy being in the wheelchair. I don't think it's a matter of why. Although I will say The Chosen had a really good scene about this. I like to think I'm the way I'm supposed to be. La Bib, welcome. I don't know what you're saying all the time, but maybe say something different. Hello, Travis the Pirate. I'm not sure. It could be that it's not auto-translating. I don't know where you're from. I am sick. I promise you. I know it looks like I'm crying. I'm not. I just have a cold. When I have a cold, my eyes always end up watering. I end up with like a runny nose. It's a pain in the butt, believe me. But I promise you, I'm not crying. I'm just dealing with this cold. But I still want to stream today, at least for a little while. Especially because we have the weekend coming up. But if you want to make me better, do a super chat, just 99 cents. Help promote the channel. I mean, I'll cry on stream if it gets me more super chats. How about that? Have I ever fallen off out of the chair? I mean, I've been frustrated with life many times. I think human nature is such that we all get frustrated with life sooner or later. I've never fallen off the chair because I've been frustrated with it. That's a weird thing to say. HGHGF, I have no idea. You're asking political questions. I am not political. Well, Freemasonry is not political. Let me rephrase that. Right? Freemasonry is not political. And so whether you're communist or capitalist or anything in between, you know, it's not going to affect you within Freemasonry. In fact, within Freemasonry, there's no discussion of politics or religion within a lodge. Travis, if you're asking people what their problem is on YouTube, you're going to be really disappointed because, or you're going to be asking that a lot. Because believe me, I've got used to people being on YouTube being a little bit strange, put it that way. Here's Mission View as well. It's really cool. We're going to give it a bit more time. We're going to wait to see who joins. No specific topics, just hanging out, chatting with people, see what they want to talk about. Any thoughts they have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral, please let me know. You should be donating to me, as everybody should, if you want to support the channel. Or if you don't, just being here, believe me, that helps out big time. Right, there's no doubt that you guys just being here, hitting the like button, hitting the subscribe button, all that stuff helps out hugely. We're going to give it more time, just hanging out, waiting to see who joins. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral? I'd love to hear it. I hope you guys are going to have an excellent Easter. Let me know if you have any plans for Easter. If your lodge is doing anything for Easter, I have, obviously, I'm a Scottish Rite member, so we have Maundy Thursday and Easter Sunday. Both of which I'm very much looking. Well, Maundy Thursday was yesterday. It was a beautiful ceremony. Maundy Thursday is a very important part of Freemasonry and a very important part of Scottish Rite. And then we have the Easter Sunday ceremony as well. Keep in mind, even though it takes place during this weekend, they're not religious ceremonies. They are meant to welcome, and they can be welcoming to men of all different faiths and backgrounds and beliefs. It's more about ethical considerations than particular religious affiliations. Hello, Light Free. How's it going? Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button. Well, I think you're already subscribed. So hit that like button, though. Let me know how you're doing. Any plans for Easter, let me know. And yeah, hope you're doing well. I do not, but you're right about King Charles. He is the King of England and he is the King of Canada. But I do not know who the King of Poland is. Is it King Charles as well? Poland's not part of the monarchy. I do not know. Actually, King Charles wrote a very nice letter to congratulate Jeremy Hansen, who is a Canadian astronaut, on his trip to the moon. Happy Good Friday, happy Easter. Yes, I agree with that. Welcome, Drift R. Is that what your name is? Drift R, Drifter. Thank you for being here. I hope you're doing well. I mean, I love all of those countries. I also love my country, Canada, greatest country in the world. I don't know if you guys have been following along. I gotta stop with this squeaking sound. It's very annoying. But as of right now, U.S. rescues crew member from fighter jet downed over Iran. Happy to see that they were rescued. I hope that they are okay, not badly injured. SP, I don't think that's true either. Light Free, no, I don't think that's true either. He might be religiously, but not literally. King of, I'm curious if there is even a King of Poland. I have no idea. Oh my gosh, never mind. You're right. Jesus Christ was appointed King of Poland by the Polish Parliament in 2016. Huh, I had no idea. That's a really cool story. Well, you learn something new every day. So, Light Free, thank you for sharing that. And that is really cool. I thought you were speaking metaphorically. Poland has been a republic since 1918 and currently has no reigning monarch, with the president serving as head of state. Historically, the last king was Stanislaus II Augustus, who reigned from 1764 until his abdication in 1795. Symbolically, Jesus Christ was appointed King of Poland by the Polish Parliament in 2016. That's really cool. I mean, Borate, I just call you Borat. I would say you'd have to talk to your religious leaders about that. It strikes me as highly unlikely that President Trump is the reborn Jesus Christ. But I guess I can't speak for what your religious leadership is telling you. It strikes me as unlikely. Thank you for the like. SP, I doubt that as well. I think you're being trollish for no reason. Interesting enough, the first king of Poland was Boleslaw I the Brave, crowned in 1025. The last king was Stanislaw Augustus Potocki in 1795. Let me check. I'm curious if any of them were Freemasons. Based on historical records, the most notable king of Poland who was a Freemason was Stanislaus II August, I can't pronounce this well, Poniatowski. He was a devotee of enlightenment, a member of the Freemasons, and supported the growth of Masonic lodges in Poland. He was a member of the strict observance, using the Masonic name Salsinatus Equa e Corona Vindicata. During his reign, particularly around the 4-year Sejm, Freemasons played a significant role in Polish politics. The project of the 3rd of May Constitution is believed to have been formed within a Masonic triangle that included King Stanislaw, Scipione Pietoli, and Ignacy Potocki. Well, the search results focus heavily on Stanislaw. They also note almost everyone in King Stanislaus August's family was a member of the movement. Count Joseph Poniatowski, nephew, though not king himself, but considered a Polish national leader, is also mentioned in connection with a mourning lodge in Warsaw. Freemasonry in Poland was active during the 18th century with significant presence of political elites and reformers in lodges, particularly in Warsaw, before being suppressed in the early 19th century. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Lightfried, I don't think you're trolling about that. I thought you... I mean... Well, first of all, Lightfried, people can question you if they want. You're not special in that way. People can question me. People can question all of us. That's part of, unfortunately, being on YouTube. Is if you're going to be on YouTube, you have to accept the fact that people are going to question you. People are going to have a lot of questions for you. Your responsibility is to try to handle it as best you can. For me, it's one of those things where it's really cool because I'm at least able, if I so desire, to block people. For you, you just kind of have to put up with it or go to a different stream. But no one is above being questioned, even Freemasons. SP, I don't think that's how it works. But I think the beautiful thing, I think the most beautiful thing, I've talked about this before, when it comes to Freemasonry, is its emphasis on the liberal arts and sciences and how we can use those sciences to better understand the universe. I'm actually going to be doing some applications to speak with NASA, to speak with members involved with Artemis 2. So if I can, I'll let you know. You'll see it on my channel for sure. I think it's human nature to be questioned, right? I think that is absolutely um, the nature of people to question. Honestly, the secrets are not that big of a deal, right? Despite what people say. The truth is, what matters most is not a secret at all, which is Freemasonry. And Freemasons are about trying to make the world a better place through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. And that it is important and it matters that we as humanity try our best, or that it's worth spending time with one another. It's worth being part of groups. I'm doing well, Cannon. How are you? Thank you for being here. We don't do anything satanic, lights free, despite what some people think. And once again, I hope everybody's doing well. Please take a moment, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let me know how you're doing. Any thoughts you have on Freemasonry, positive, negative, or neutral. I'd love to hear it. There are some people who treat football like a religion. There's no doubt about that. But that's true for almost anything in life, right? To do something religiously does not necessarily mean it is a religion. People might say, I watch scary movies religiously. That doesn't mean it's a religion. You need to keep that in mind. Thank you. Are you been following along with the Artemis space mission? Were you here when I was, watching the countdown, watching the Artemis launch live through the YouTube NASA YouTube channel? Because that was really, really cool. And again, why? Because Freemasonry is focused on geometry. It's an incredibly important part of what it is to be a Freemason, and it's geometry that is allowing this mission to proceed. No worries. Maybe you'll get to see them splash down in about 8 days, I think, give or take. But obviously, you got to put work first. But it was really cool to see. It was really moving. A lot of people have talked about what a moving experience it was for them to see it. How's it going, Hugh? Welcome back. I hope you're doing well. We don't lie. I mean, individual Masons are human beings, so it's possible that they could be lying. I mean, it's human nature. But I think the ethics of Freemasonry are such that it encourages honesty and encourages being honorable. So we do not. Why do you think Freemasons lie so much? That's almost always how life is, Hugh. It could be better, it could be worse. I'm happy though that for you it seems like it's at least going fairly well, which is awesome. We also don't deceive everyone, so you're wrong about that as well, Mark Roy. You are 0 for 2. And I don't practice witchcraft. Freemasonry is not about witchcraft. I've known some Wiccan, Wiccan Freemasons. I think maybe they would practice witchcraft. I don't know how you define it. But Freemasonry is not a religion, so we have many different people who practice many different faiths: Christian, Catholic or Protestant, Hindu, Sikh, Muslim, Jewish, etc., etc. So, yeah, I'm not aware of. But Freemasonry is not a religion itself, or does not quote unquote practice these things. So this idea of we're not practicing witchcraft within a Masonic lodge, that's foolish. I have no idea what the mark of tear is, but I haven't accepted any mark, unless you're referring to this, which is actually from Halloween, or this, which is the Masonic symbol. The next one from John Cena, because John Cena used to always say, he would be told, he would be asked what his favorite match was, and he would always answer with the next one, which is one of my favorite answers ever. So now when people ask me my favorite Masonic moment, I always say the next one. Well, I did not accept the mark of Satan in that case, so you are incorrect. Although I did get a cold, so who knows? Oh, got a phone call coming at me. Well, we'll leave that for the time being. As always, I hope everybody's doing well. Please take a moment, hit that like button and that subscribe button. So, Mark Roy, why do you believe that I, or Freemasons in general, have accepted the mark of tear / the mark of Satan? Yes, there is, Hugh Do. I've talked about this many times before. Um, there's kind of three purposes behind it. And I don't like the term secrecy. I prefer the term privacy, though that's getting into semantics. The reason for the secrecy, or privacy, is threefold. First, it maintains the bonds of brotherhood between past and future generations. Let's imagine you within your family have a family recipe that was passed down from your grandparents to your parents to you. You plan to pass it down to your kids. Maintaining the privacy of that recipe, maintaining its secrecy so it doesn't go beyond the family, is a way to maintain the bonds of family relationships between your grandparents to you and everyone else who's currently in your family to future generations. If the family recipe is shared in public, it limits and it affects those bonds. You can share the results of the recipe, like let's say the family recipe is for cookies. You can bake cookies and bring them to events and bring them to celebrations, but you're not going to share the ingredients or the recipe, just the results of it, which in some ways is what Freemasonry does, right? We share the results of our work, but not necessarily the work itself. And so, yeah, within Freemasonry, we don't have family recipes. We have jewels, we have rings, but none of that stuff really matters. What matters most, what is most important ultimately, is our ritual. That's what we pass down from generation to generation. By having that maintaining the privacy of that, it makes me feel closer to past, present, and future generations of Masons. The other two reasons is you need to remember that if you're joining Freemasonry, it's an experience, like going to the movies. You don't want the experience spoiled by knowing what's going to happen. It's better to go through the experience with an open mind and just pay attention to things. And also, so I don't want to give spoilers, but also, no two Masonic rituals within jurisdictions are exactly the same. The Masonic ritual in Ontario, which is consistent throughout Ontario, is different than the Masonic ritual in Michigan, different than Masonic ritual in Manitoba, different than Masonic ritual in Texas. So if I share with you information about our private rituals in Ontario and you join a lodge in Texas, you're going to go in expecting one thing and receiving something different. Now, there are similarities. Those similarities are what allow us to have recognition and regularity, but there's also differences. And if you go in with expectations, you're going to be disappointed. One of my favorite quotes is, happiness is reality minus expectation. The point being, you're much better off just focusing on enjoying the experience as it comes, as opposed to expecting certain things based on Ontario ritual. So those are the three reasons for the secrecy/privacy. I always say, though, I always give the general caveat because it's true. There is nothing within any Masonic ritual that is illegal, immoral, or against one's civic, religious, or moral responsibilities. I love music and I love sports, but I don't pay attention to them anymore because I'm just so busy. I want to join. I enjoy my privacy. I'm not sure what you mean by that. I mean, we have many people who are private people and enjoy being Freemasons. We have many people who are more gregarious and outspoken and also love being Freemasons. I mean, Freemasonry welcomes all different types of people with all different types of backgrounds and all different types of personalities. And all sports are definitely not of Masonic origin. That is crazy. Happy Good Friday, Spirit of Justice. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for being here. So he is the Mystic Mason, right? Rando Ellsworth. Well, then you might be. Well, thank you, Rahul Singh. Please, by the way, hit like and subscribe. I'm not sure, Hugh, that you would then enjoy it. I mean, Freemasons are not out there fixing air conditioners, despite what you saw in Community. There might be some Freemasons who work in air conditioner repair, but keep in mind, Freemasonry is not a profession, at least not yet. All sports are definitely not of Masonic origin. That's a whole lot of baloney. I mean, many sports predate Freemasonry, at least original forms of it or some form of it, right? Like curling has been around way longer than Freemasonry, to my knowledge. Sport in general, sport as an idea, like you look at the Olympics, right? That predates Freemasonry by about, 2,000 years? Something like that? Maybe 1,700? The Greek Olympic Games, wrestling, things like that. There were many sports that pre-existed Freemasonry. And many sports that existed after Freemasonry. Oh, I mean, Yes. Oh, believe me, Spirit. I've been talking about that a lot. We've had other Canadian astronauts in space before. It's the first Canadian to travel around the moon and to travel as far into space. We've had Canadian astronauts in space on the International Space Station several times. But this is the first Canadian to be traveling that far. And as a Freemason and Spirit, you should understand this as well, right? The incredible value of geometry to Freemasonry. We see that value in this mission. If it wasn't for geometry and geometric principles, they would not be able to travel to the moon. If they're reliant on geometry, basically they have Euclid in the driver's seat. Without being able to create precise geometric calculations, they would not be able to send humans not just to the moon, beyond the moon. William Shaw, I mean, I'm trying to think. William Shaw, I've not heard of him, but again, I don't know everything about the old charges. No. Oh, the first William Shaw statues from 1598. Okay. So they were from 1598. The statutes and ordinances to be observed by all the master masons within this realm, set down by William Shaw, Master of Work, to His Majesty King James VI, and general wardens of said craft, with the consent of the masters hereafter specified. Item, first, that they observe and keep all the good ordinances set down previously concerning the privileges of their craft by their predecessors of good memory, and especially that they be true one to another and live charitably together as becomes sworn brethren and fellows of the craft, that they be obedient to their wardens, deacons, and masters in all things concerning their craft, that they be honest, faithful, and diligent in their calling, to deal uprightly with the masters or owners of the works that they shall take in hand, be it in task, meat, and fee, or weekly wage. That none shall take hand in any work, great or small, which he is not able to perform in a qualified manner, under the pain of £40, or else the fourth part of the worth and value of said work. That no master shall take any other master's work over his head after the first master has agreed with the owner of the work, either by contract, orally or verbally conditioned, under the penalty of £40. That no master shall take the working of any work other than masters have worked at before. There shall be one warden chosen and elected every year to have charge over every lodge as they are divided, and that by the votes of the masters of said lodges and the consent of their warden general, if he happens to be present, and otherwise that he be advised that such a warden has been chosen for such a year to that end, and the warden general may send directions to the elected wardens. Nice try. That there shall be one warden chosen, that no master will take on any more apprentices than 3 during his lifetime, without the special consent of all the wardens, deacons, and masters. That no mason shall take and bind any apprentice for fewer than 7 years, and likewise it shall not be allowed to make the said apprentice brother and fellow in the craft until the time that he shall have another 7 years after the end of his apprenticeship. That it shall not be lawful for any master to sell his apprentice to any other master. That no master shall receive any apprentices without signifying the same to the wardens of the lodge where he lives. That no apprentice shall be entered except in the same order the day their entries are booked. Provided always that no man shall be admitted without an assay and sufficient trial of his skill and worthiness in his vocation and craft. That no master shall work at any mason work under the charge or command of any other craftsman that takes in hand or upon himself the willing work of any mason work. That no master of fellow craft receive any cowans to work in his presence or company. Those cowans is a term for not true Freemasons. It shall not be lawful for any apprentice to undertake any greater task or work in hand from an owner that will be for more than the sum of £10. If there shall be any question, strife, or variance among the masters, servants, or entered apprentices, The parties that are in debate shall signify the cause of their quarrel, that all masters undertaking any work be very careful to see their scaffolding and footways be surely set and placed, that no master is to receive or reset, wrongly acquire the property of another, any other master's apprentice or servant, that all persons of the Masonic craft shall convene at the time and place after being lawfully warned, under the penalty of £10, that all masters that may be summoned to any assembly or meeting shall be sworn by their great oath that they not hide or conceal faults nor wrongs done by any to another, nor the faults or wrongs that any man has done to the owners of the works that they have had in hand, as far as they are aware, and that under the penalty of £10. It is ordained that all aforesaid penalties shall be taken from the offenders and breakers of these ordinances, and for the fulfilling and observing of these ordinances set down here, all the masters convened on the aforesaid day bind and oblige themselves faithfully hereto. So there you go. Those are the William Shaw Master of Work old charges from 1598. I mean, when I think of the old charges, I always think about and know about, the two ones I know about most frequently are the Regius poem, which I like a lot, from 1390, if I'm getting the date correct, and the Anderson Constitutions from 1723, which may have been written by Anderson, although there's evidence that they were written by others, or the 1731 reprint in America. First American Masonic documents ever published was a reprint of the Anderson Constitutions. You as well, CD, I hope you're doing well, and thank you for being here. Please take a moment, hit that like and subscribe button. Well, you already subscribed. Hit the like button. And I hope you're having a good weekend. He was Scottish. That is true. I'm not sure. I can't speak to which royal house he was a member of, but he was Scottish to my knowledge. I recognize the name now. It took me a second. I never read his work, but it's relatively short. So I just went through it now because it was kind of cool. It's still operative, right? It's operative in its nature. But there's definitely hints of speculative Freemasonry therein. What I found fascinating about that was the idea of reminding brethren who are masters not to take on work beyond what they're capable of or beyond their capabilities. And if they do, they face penalties as a consequence of that. I think that's really cool because we need to remember that, these were tradesmen. These were stonemasons. This is about 34 years, something to that extent, before the first speculative Masons, the Alexander brothers, if I recall correctly, in Scotland at St. Mary's Chapel. And so, I believe it was St. Mary's Chapel. And so as a consequence of that, this demonstrates, or this indicates kind of the change from speculative to, or from operative to speculative Masonry. This kind of stands at the forefront of operative to speculative Freemasonry. I mean, Hugh, that's up to you to decide. There is no singular point or purpose for joining, except at the most base level. The point is, it's worth spending time with other people. Human beings want to spend time with others. There are a million ways to do it. Freemasonry is simply one way of many. And absolutely it's the case that you should, that's kind of the core purpose of it. But then every person will have individual reasons for a desire to join. In some cases, it could be that they have family connections and they want to join for that purpose, to be closer to their family. Some may be interested in being part of a traditional group that has such a cool history to it. Some may just happen to know people. They have friends or family who are Masons and they decide they want to be part of it as well, which would be really cool. So there are a million different reasons why someone joined. I joined ultimately because I want to try to make the world a better place through the application of brotherly love, relief, and truth. Zian, I'm not. There are many Christian Freemasons, but I'm not a Christian myself, though I do believe in a supreme being. Well, it's definitely, Rondo, that based on just quickly reading it, that seems to be one of the last documents of operative Freemasonry before speculative Masonry truly developed, which is really cool, by the way. Zian, I hope you'll hit the like button and the subscribe button, and I appreciate you being here very much. I hope you're having a good day. And I hope that, since it sounds like you're Christian, I hope you're having a very solemn and special, solemn and most special Good Friday. And I hope you have plans for Easter Sunday as well. And let's hope we can maybe get some more subscribers. It's going really well. Thank you everybody for supporting my channel. We're getting close to 4,000 subs. We're about 200 away, so... Oh, the Artemis 2 astronauts are taking questions on their way to the moon. Or they were about 14 hours ago. I also want to mention, this is important, we need to think about the practical things within Freemasonry. Let's see. I posted something on my social media. I want to talk about it quickly. Let's see if I can find it now, if I actually was paying attention. Oops, I think it's on the other one. Where is it? Oh. All right, I found this from Emergency Ready in Canada. This was published April 1st. No fooling. Happy Easter as well, CD. So, weather conditions such as freezing rain, hailstorms, and high winds are the leading causes of power outage. If you're at home during an outage, make sure to contact your power or hydro company to report the outage and to monitor their updates. Don't open your freezer or fridge unless absolutely necessary. Limit your cell phone use. Never leave candles unattended. What to do during a power outage. So that's for people at home, but let's not forget, we within Freemasonry, our Masonic buildings, may very well also be at risk of power outages, especially if we have a meeting taking place or during a meeting when we have people there. And so having a plan for power outages in your Masonic building is incredibly, incredibly important. So I would suggest, here's some general advice for Masonic lodges, and Masonic buildings, I should say. Make sure you have an emergency kit and learn about what items to put in the emergency kit, right? I would say certainly you want to have first aid kits in your building. So, you need to make sure you have first aid supplies. I would suggest also flashlights. Also make sure you have emergency lights. So if the lighting does go out, there are emergency lights in your building that can at least illuminate hallways and illuminate exits. You want to make sure you know who has keys to the building if you need to lock doors. You need to make sure that you have chargers for your phones, for cell phones, or at least battery packs, right? There are certain chargers that you can use. You don't need to plug into a wall. They're basically portable chargers. Make sure you have a few of those and make sure they remain charged. So if there's a power outage and you need to call people for an emergency, brethren can charge their phones. That's incredibly important as well. You actually in Canada can find a checklist for getting an emergency kit, such as, and here's the whole list: water, food, manual can opener, wind up or battery powered flashlight with extra batteries, a radio with extra batteries, a first aid kit, extra keys for the building, and important documents, and an emergency plan, which includes where to go if you need to evacuate the building, where the exits are, who will check to make sure everybody's okay, who has first aid. All that stuff is incredibly important. Going back here again, make a lodge emergency plan. So if there is an emergency, we're talking specifically about power outages, but it could be anything. What is your plan? Do the brethren know where the exits are? Do they have a meetup place? Do you have a brother designated and responsible for making sure everybody has left the building? For counting how many people are in the building before the emergency, and then counting, when you evacuate, how many people are, were able to evacuate safely, so the numbers are the same. Do you have people responsible for calling 911 in case of emergency? Do you know that that person has a fully charged cell phone, or you have chargers available? Do you know who might have health risks or health issues or special health needs in your building, and do you have a plan to help them get out if they need it? Do you have somebody checking your local weather alert notifications and public weather alerts? So if you're traveling to lodge and there is a tornado warning, let's say, or there is a hurricane warning or a blizzard warning, do you have somebody who's keeping track of that and can maybe cancel the meeting if necessary? Or else, if there's some type of emergency situation, emergency weather situation that pops up all of a sudden, is aware of it. Make sure to plan for medical needs. Know about the medical conditions of your Masonic brethren and know what they may need in case of a power outage or other emergency, so you can be prepared for that. Enroll in the medical alert program as a Mason. Those things are incredibly helpful. Understand your medications. And it doesn't hurt to make sure you have access to a list of your medications. So if there's an emergency and you need to contact 911 or get into a hospital, your brothers know what medications you're on. And then prepare your home. Learn how to shut off the water system in the Masonic Temple if you need to. Drain water from the plumbing systems if you need to, so the pipes or the water in the pipes don't freeze and expand. Have working carbon monoxide alarms and smoke detectors with battery backups. Protect electronics such as TVs or computers with surge protecting power bars. All of this stuff can be for one's home or can be done in one's Masonic building. Consider backup power and heat sources, but be very careful with them. Get advice on how best to, approach these things. Be properly trained in how to use them. If you want to have a Masonic lodge and you want to install a generator, make sure you have a licensed electrician giving you advice and installing it properly and correctly. Know how to safely use any generators if you have them in your Masonic building. If you are going to be, let's say, in a Masonic building using candles for light sources, make sure that you check them regularly. Don't leave them unattended. There was actually a fire about, I think it was 2 years ago, not in a Masonic building, but in a crowded nightclub caused by, I think it was sparklers or candles getting too close to the ceiling. If you're in a Masonic lodge and there is a power outage, check if the power outage is exclusive to your Masonic building or is the entire block, let's say. Check the circuit breaker or panel box. Not anybody. It should be somebody who is assigned for that purpose. Contact the power or hydro company. Monitor news and information. Limit your cell phone use unless you can charge your devices. And that's why, I think every Masonic lodge or Masonic building should have available at least a couple of mobile power banks or mobile chargers that are kept up to date and charged. So if there's a power outage, you can still charge your phones at that point. Don't open, if you have a fridge or freezer in your Masonic lodge buildings, do not open them unless absolutely necessary. A full freezer will keep food frozen for 24 to 48 hours if the door remains closed. Check the batteries in smoke and carbon monoxide alarms to ensure they're working. Use flashlights instead of candles to lower the risk of fire. Make sure you have flashlights available to people. Make sure also that if you have emergency lighting in your building, which you should, the batteries work and they will properly illuminate exits, doorways, and stairwells, so nobody's at risk of tripping or falling. Protect yourself from carbon monoxide. Make sure you have carbon monoxide monitors in your building. If you need to evacuate, grab your emergency kit and listen to local authorities. Know the evacuation routes, or since cell or internet services may be unavailable. If there is time, turn off the main breaker, circuit breaker panel, or power supply box in your home before you leave. Prepare to evacuate if your Masonic lodge building becomes unsafe due to extreme cold, extreme heat, floods, or other hazards. So you need to keep all of those things in mind. No emergency tunnels, that's a bit too much. Where was it? And also they suggest if there's a power outage, right, when the power goes out, you may be left without heating, air conditioning, lighting, or running water in your building. You may also lose internet and phone service, but there are steps you can take. We talked about many of those. If you're sheltering in place, unplug all tools, appliances, and electronic equipment. Turn your thermostat down to prevent damage from a power surge when the power is restored. Leave one light on inside and outside to show the power has been restored. Don't touch your circuit breaker or fuse panel with wet hands or while standing on a damp floor. And again, for that, I would suggest relying on your lodge building administration to check the fuse panels. So generally speaking, I bring this up is, look, you could be in your Masonic lodge building and there could be a power outage. If those things happen, there are things you can do and things you can prepare to do in advance. Like I said, at the bare minimum, having an emergency kit in your building, which includes flashlights, which includes a first aid kit, which includes mobile chargers, which includes an emergency evacuation plan. They're little things, but it can make a big difference. Maybe 99% of the time it won't matter, but that 1% of the time it does. Knowing who might need help and how to help them in a power outage, making sure your emergency lighting works so people are not tripping and falling downstairs or not being able to see exits. All of that stuff, it doesn't matter till it does. So there you go. Yes, Tyrone, I got a big nose. Please hit like and subscribe. Emergency tunnels aren't necessary according to this, but nonetheless, if you have them, I guess great. Just be careful. I would think, honestly, having emergency tunnels might be more dangerous in a power outage because you wouldn't be able to see anything because their tunnels are underground. So you can find more information through the Government of Canada services, basically Government of Canada Emergency Preparedness website. I'll see if I can leave the link in the description or in the comments. I think we as Freemasons need to think about these things. We can't be forgetting about them. All right, Brad, ask me some of your questions. I can't make any promises. Oh, I bet you get all sorts of interesting questions. Talking about Freemasonry on social media, you absolutely do get all sorts of interesting questions. But that's okay. It keeps things interesting. It keeps things fun. I did get good sleep, although I'm still got this stupid cold, so I'm going to be ending the stream sooner than most and getting myself back to sleep because I'm still recovering. But I am now at 3,781 subscribers, so thank you for that. It helps out big time. My plan is also to do a much longer stream on Monday, so be prepared for that as well. Because we have the day off on Monday, so why not? Maybe there'll be more people at home hanging out, willing to be on stream. Rest well. I will, Dylan. Thank you for being here. If anyone wants to help me feel better, a great way to do that is by providing me with with some super chats. Would be much appreciated. I don't know if anybody's, like I said, following the Artemis 2 mission, but when we talk about when we talk about the importance of geometry, I don't think it's better explained or better demonstrated than through space travel and space exploration. That's right. It's growing, Rondo. It's growing slowly but surely. So let's keep our fingers crossed it keeps growing. Who's traveling? No, Dylan, they got the toilet working again. Christina, I believe her name is pronounced Koch. It's Koch. So I'm not sure if it's pronounced Koch or Koch. Got it fixed. She was the space plumber, so it's all working out. But I would be terrified to spend 10 days in space. I would be terrified to spend 10 days in space, like, period. I would be even more terrified to spend 10 days in space without a working toilet. At that point, you're pooping in a bag, and that doesn't sound fun at all. I'm pretty sure, if you're talking about Epstein, I'm pretty sure he's not out there at all anymore. I think he's gone. Now, certainly, I think they're still investigating. I hope they're still investigating. I don't know what to call it, his network, his criminal network, and fingers crossed that they will arrest those who need to be arrested. I'm sure they are even more glad about that than you are, Dylan, but yes, I'm sure that is the case. We're going to keep hanging out for a little bit longer, but then I'm going to take a break. I'm going to get some rest because I'm still dealing with the stupid cold. Plus, it's Good Friday, so take a little bit of a break, although I will be posting some stuff on social media this evening, so follow me along for that. And then I'll be back on Monday with a much longer stream, so be prepared for that as well. At least we have one U.S. crew member rescued. I guess they were shot down over Iran. They've been rescued. I'm very happy. I hope the second person, because there's a two-person crew, can also be rescued. I'm not sure what their status is right now. As of, well, I mean, maybe I'm not nice. I don't know. Iran state media promises reward for capturing missing U.S. crew members. That's frightening. As the U.S. military searched for two crew members of a fighter jet that was shot down over Iran, the country's state media issued pleas for its citizens to look for the missing Americans and promised rewards, handing them over. I've said a million times, I'll say it a million more, you cannot separate the condition of Freemasonry from the condition of the country in which it's located. Whether the country's at war is going to greatly affect, about to sneeze, greatly affect the conditions within that country, economic, politically, socially. We need to pay attention to these things. We can have our own opinions about whether we think the war itself was good or not good, and every Mason can decide for himself, because that's a political question, but the effects of it, very often those aren't political. Those are simply realities that must be dealt with, whether it be the rising cost of oil or gas, which is currently over $4 a gallon in the United States. I think it's at $4.08 last time I checked, through to, spraying social fabric, potentially increasing costs across the board. All of that stuff needs to be paid attention to. And Canada has helped America in the past, so we both helped each other out quite a bit. About to sneeze? Or will I sneeze? No? Maybe? I mean, again, whether or not a country gets involved in the Iran conflict is up to the political leadership of each country. I would say there are very good reasons probably to not get involved from another country's perspective. Also, to its credit though, Canada did announce that it did reach its 2% funding of NATO goal, 2% GDP NATO funding, which I think is the first time it's achieved that in a little bit. So I think that's a good thing. Ooh. I'm gonna have to end this stream soon. I'm here crying. I look like I'm not crying, I'm just sick. About to sneeze and not. I don't think that's how it works, Haley. I think this war is going to be going on, or this conflict, or this action, take your pick, is going to be going on for a lot longer than we are necessarily ready for. And again, we as Freemasons, it's our responsibility simply to do our best to make sure that the world itself and our fellow citizens are able to make it through this as comfortably as they can, as safely as they can, provide support to anyone struggling as it relates to the increasing costs. If anybody, heaven forbid, has, or not heaven forbid, but if anybody has family that is in harm's way, we want to be checking in on them, making sure they're okay. It's our responsibility to do our best to try to support our brethren who may be struggling, either directly or indirectly through the conflict. And that includes brethren in the Middle East, lodges in Jordan, in Lebanon, and in Israel, as well as the Grand Lodge of Iran in exile, which currently meets out of Los Angeles. We always have something better to do. I mean, I don't know about that, Haley. People are pretty busy with their own lives, trying their best. Everybody's trying their best. It's not always easy to know what to do, right? It is absolutely incredible seeing the pictures coming from the Artemis 2 space launch. Welcome, Exo Non. Thank you for being back. I hope you're doing well. I hope you'll hit the like button and consider, if you're not a subscriber, consider subscribing. Well, that's not cool, Haley. Nice. You're nobody should be beating anybody up. Nobody could see that message, but nonetheless. Well, thank you, EXO. How's it going? Are you following the Artemis 2 mission? If so, what do you think of it? If not, any plans for this weekend, for example? What are your plans for, let's say, the Easter weekend? Pretty sure it is just a story. I don't think there's actually a man in the moon. There have been men on the moon, and hopefully they'll be returning very shortly. Well, I mean, let's not be fighting. Let's just be not fighting. Well, it's Good Friday, so happy Good Friday and happy Easter on Sunday. So far, there's never been a female walking on the moon, to my knowledge, but maybe that will change soon. They're looking at trying to create a permanent settlement on the moon, so I kept on almost sneezing and then not, which is the worst. I prefer to just sneeze. My goal is, I mean, I'm 30, Jesus. I'm 42 now. Probably be alive for another, what, 30 something years. Hopefully, I live long enough to see permanent men on the moon or permanent humans on the moon. And I get to see a Masonic lodge on the moon. I think that'd be really cool. And if I could ever do that meeting, that would be incredible. Sneezing is good, but I hate it when I'm about to sneeze and then don't. That's a pain. Get a feather. Well, no, I'm not going to get a feather. Let's not do that. But I'm sure I'll sneeze eventually. I'm going to be ending the stream soon, so you might not see me sneeze, but I assure you I will probably sneeze many times the next couple of days. We're just going to give it a couple more minutes, so just wait to see if anyone else jumps on to say hello. We're going to give it another, let's say, 5 minutes. Anyone wants to jump in and say hello, by all means. Otherwise, we'll be ending this stream. I'm going to rest, get rid of this cold. I'll be back on Monday, but I will be posting on social media throughout the weekend, so you can find me there. I mean, I don't believe in aliens, period. So I don't believe Star Wars really happened. Now, I absolutely think that if aliens do exist in the universe, then I'm sure, like, Star Wars specifically did not exist. But I'm sure there have been historically battles between alien species and politics and all the rest of it. But I don't believe in aliens, so it's kind of irrelevant. But if aliens did exist, then sure, I'm sure there would be maybe alien races battling one another. Wouldn't strike me as impossible. I'm always a traveling man, although I'm a sick man right now, so I can't really travel too far. I don't want to get anybody else sick. Well, Light Free, I think you're misunderstanding that, but okay. If you want to believe Star Wars actually existed, more power to you. All right, well, is Chewbacca better than the... No, are you kidding? Worf is better than Chewbacca. I'm a Star Trek guy more than a Star Wars guy. I think Star Trek has actually more connections to Freemasonry than Star Wars. I even have. I'll show this to you guys quickly before I end this stream. If I can find it. Let's see if I can track it down quickly. Da, da, da. I got so many coins, which I'm grateful for, because it shows how much I've been lucky enough to be able to travel. But now I gotta find the coin with the Star Trek logo on it from California. If I can track this down, I'll show it to you. This will be where we end the stream, at least for today. But don't worry, just keep following me along. We'll be... Oh, here it is. Check that out. Cool little Star Trek connection. I do not know what the green cross code is. Klingon Worf, W-O-R-F. At least I assume that's who you're talking about. There have been other famous Klingons in Star Trek, right? There was B'Elanna Torres, for example, but she was half Klingon. But Worf would be the most famous. He's not a thing, he's a sentient being. That's a bit harsh. But yeah, he is the... I mean, he's got the long hair. His skin is like the dark brown. He's got the forehead ridges. They are believers in honor and brotherhood. So in some ways they're very Masonic because they speak about brothers, things like that. Though they were always kind of related to Celtic warriors, I think, or Vikings even, in later seasons. Whereas the Romulans were based on ancient Rome, or Romans, so yeah. Worf would win. Debate everything. I don't know about the latest Masonic Mafia arrests. I do know there were some. First of all, you need to keep in mind they are not recognized Masonic lodges, which means if I were to travel to France, I would not be able to visit their lodges or attend their meetings because they're not recognized by my Masonic organization for good reason. It sounds like they're pretty skeevy group. Having said that, I mean, look, my response to this has always been the same: is if there is sufficient evidence, they should be charged. They should go to trial. There should be a judgment, and if the judgment is guilty, they should go to jail for whatever length of time is appropriate based on the law and the judge and the decision of the judge. And if they are found not guilty, then they're found not guilty, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the court proceeding, but I think the most important thing is ultimately that we have the trial, and if there is a conviction, they be punished appropriately. Nobody should get away with criminal acts, whether they call themselves a Mason or are a Mason, and no Mason should expect any other Mason to get away with any criminal activities, or for that matter, just immoral activities in general, right? But we don't know. There hasn't been, to my knowledge, a finding of guilt yet, so we don't necessarily know what's going to happen. You make it work. I mean, like everything else, right? It's possible. I'm a firm believer that if you want to accomplish something, it's always possible. You make it work, you figure it out. That's what dispensations are created for, right? We're going to be ending this stream shortly. So any last questions or thoughts, please let me know. All right, well, thank you guys for joining. I hope that some of the advice I gave about the importance of having emergency preparedness in case your lodge experiences a power outage or other disaster, I hope you'll take that into mind and consider how you can make your lodges safer in such circumstances. I also hope that you'll continue following the Artemis 2 space mission, and I hope to see you all on Monday. Thank you guys so much. Have an excellent day. Please take a moment, hit the like button and the subscribe button. Thank you all for being here. Follow me on social media. I'll see you all soon. And if you can, super chat, Patreon, all that good stuff helps out big time.